And we're back. Welcome to another episode of Black Law and Legal Lies,
Legalize.
where we specialize in edutainment.
Edutainment and switching
Silly.
podcast host.
Oh, yeah, we're doing that too. But you can follow us across every social media platform at Black Law Podcast. You can follow me, Just Ann, on Twitter at I Tell Legal Lies. We also would like your support in our shop. So Black Law Podcast /shop. We have several live on fire t-shirts for you to buy. So please support us in that. And now I like to turn you over to
Man,
dum.
that sounds like some shit we used to say back in the hood, though. Like, yeah, shorty, I'm done with you. Hey, yo, I'm gonna toss you over to my boy, though.
Oh, really? That's what y'all used to do in the hood?
Yeah.
That wouldn't know. I wasn't raised in the hood.
Man, I know, because you rich. My name is
Really?
Dan, a.k.a. Dan on Drugs, award-winning podcaster. Just figured I throw that in. Just figured I throw that in there, you know what I'm saying?
Really?
Yeah,
What award
award-winning.
at?
In Charlotte, I think.
Man, what? It was like one of them awards from off of Christmas Story. What is a
Man.
lamp with a leg attached?
I don't care what it is. It could be a damn.
What is it, like a really big prize?
It could be written down on a piece of paper and pencil and shit. Like, yo. Again, ladies and gentlemen, award-winning podcaster for A Few Screws Loose, the podcast.
Oh, jeez.
Just figure, I'll throw that in there.
Whatever.
Take that.
Really?
So, ladies and gentlemen, Afro
Take
Becky
that.
has
You're
not been
so
with
adult.
us. That is adult.
You're so adult.
Becky is, unfortunately, she had
Oh.
an accident.
Oh, wait. I thought she was on a crack binge.
That was last week.
Mm.
This week,
Mm.
she was taking these pills called, what's it called? Fen or some shit?
Esther?
No, Fen.
Man, they stopped selling Fen. It was giving people heart attacks.
Well, then that ain't it. Well, something, I forget, but it makes you shit yourself.
Ally?
Yeah, Abilify or some shit.
Abilify?
Man, that stuff that Mish, shout out to.
Ally, that's the ones that give you oily stool.
Yeah.
And what's not.
Man, look, we got this friend, right? Because we talk about her every few shows. And she's like 120 pounds, but she wants to be 92 pounds because that's just a body image.
Because, that's what society tells us.
Man.
We need to look. Well, not we as black women, but society tells white women that they need to be like 100 pounds soaking wet, and they can only survive off of
8 calories a
loose
day.
leaf lettuce and a couple of nuts.
Man, so she gets this shit called Ally that's supposed to be a weight loss dieting pill. And she starts shitting on herself.
And what's
right?
funny is she convinces her husband to
and
do
her
it
father
with her, to do it with her. Mm-hmm.
So that's 3 of them. Now, mind you, she's shitting on herself, but she's still recommending this to other people. Other people are shitting on themselves now. And ask me,
told
did
you
she
that
stop?
You should try it.
Man, like if you, and she also does coffee enemas too. So
yeah, and she gave me some powder one time. After when she was using it, it caused her to have heart palpitations and some other stuff, and she stopped using it.
Oh
she
yeah,
gave
that
it
was
to
the
me.
meat cum.
Yes,
wasn't it? Yeah,
yes.
Man.
She gave it to me and told me I should try it. Yes, America. She did.
Amazon, not even Amazon, but Amazon's benefiting, but these different supplement manufacturers are making a killing off of people like her.
Mm-hmm.
And she's not the only one. Everyone wants to lose, well, not everyone, but there's a large segment of America that wants to lose weight.
They don't want to
work.
The work. Right.
Man, so they get out here and they try to look for these quick fad diets, these diet pills and shit.
And they may work for a while, but that's not sustainable.
Man,
they're not.
And then next thing you know, you shitting on yourself. That's just a more
oily discharge. Yes.
So today, ladies and gentlemen, what I kind of wanted to talk about, we're gonna weave a few things into this, but we tried to stay away from the whole Tekashi 6ix9ine situation with him on the stand, telling on everyone. The reason why we stayed away from that is because, there's some real niggas' lives being affected by this.
Mm-hmm.
And we really don't know the entire story.
Right. We are getting snippets. Like, I don't know if they're going to release the transcripts, because normally court cases would be public record and you could go and get a transcript. Most news outlets, they have people at the courthouse, like as soon as available, you go and get the transcripts, you read it all, it's out there. But I know he got some kind of immunity deal, didn't he? He didn't?
No.
So no
He
immunity
got
deal? I thought he got something that was going to reduce, right?
Reduce sentence.
But
So
then he's still serving like 25 even after that.
He's going to be out as early as next year.
Wait, what?
Yes. And it's just been reported that he signed a $10 million record deal after snitching on everybody.
Really?
$10 million.
Snitches does have its rewards,
I guess, but that's reported by TMZ. So,
well, TMZ is a good source of information, I have to tell you.
These days. But what I wanted to talk about was snitching. A lot of people in our community, they don't understand what snitching is.
Wait, so what's your definition of snitching? Let me see.
Okay, now I'm a civilian.
Wait, hold up. Can I tell you what I think it is, and then
sure,
then you can
let's hear.
Me? Okay, so there's a part A and a part B to snitching, as far as I'm concerned. So part A is you commit a crime with a group of people. Because, of course, it can't just be you by yourself. You're not going to tell on yourself. But you commit this crime with a group of people. And say you get caught. Well, you start talking about the crime and who you committed it with. That would be part A definition snitching. All right, part B definition of snitching to me would be, all right, say you committed a crime with a group of people. And after you commit said crime, you go to your girl, you go to your boy, and you say, man, me and Ray Ray and them, we did X, Y, and Z. And then your girl, in turn, goes to the cops and says, well, look, she told me that her and Ray Ray and them did, I saw on the news that Crime Stoppers were saying they were looking for information about this crime. My girl said that her and Ray Ray and them did it.
Hearsay, Your Honor.
Well, that is informant information. Do you know that's how a lot of crimes get solved?
By hearsay?
Because somebody goes and says something to the cops and they investigate.
Yeah. Well, the first.
So am I right?
The first. Right. This is my book. I mean, my book. Because again, I'm a civilian, ladies and gentlemen. If you go do a crime and you come home and tell your girl about the crime you just committed, I don't call that snitching. I call that stupid. That's pillow talk. Pillow talk gets niggas killed.
I'm still saying that snitching, because if you see, for me, if we did something together, don't talk about it to nobody, not even amongst yourselves.
That's generally the rule, but I wouldn't call talking about it snitching. I would just call it loose lips sink ships.
Snitching. All right, but okay.
So snitching. If you and I were to do a crime and I get caught, okay, we're carjacking and we're joyriding someone's car, police chase. We both jump out, we run separate ways, police catch me, not you. And I say, yo, Ann was with me. And such and such, or such and such, here's her phone number, her driver's license number, everything. I ain't even got no license. I can't drive. So that's a form of snitching. The other form is taking the stand, as we've seen in the Tekashi case. Taking the stand against the people that you roll with. So there's been many cases where people have actually gone down for crimes they didn't necessarily do. They might have been there.
Because somebody said something. Mm-hmm.
Well, no, because they didn't say anything. They might have been
because
there.
Somebody else, like you're saying, got on the stand and started talking. And because they were in the vicinity, because they knew about it. Because let me tell you something. Being an accessory after the fact is a real thing.
Yeah.
America. I know y'all have heard that before, but let me give you a run, just a simple little quick definition. If someone commits a crime and they come to you and they tell you that they've committed a crime and you endeavor to help them conceal said crime, you can be charged with being an accessory because you're doing something in furtherance of that crime. So you're talking about Tekashi getting on the stand.
Right.
And
That's
you're talking
not where
about
I was going, though. Where I was going is there are people doing hard time for crimes they didn't do because they themselves did not snitch. So again, me and you, and let's say 4 other people somewhere, you pull out a gun and blow someone's brains out. I didn't pull out a gun. I didn't pull the trigger. I'm not running. But I get arrested because I was there.
But do you know what that's called, though?
That's called nothing.
Yes, it is. That's a crime. Because
wait, let me give you the situation.
Mm-hmm. I heard the situation.
We're at a second line. Ladies and gentlemen, second line is a funeral dance in New Orleans. We just chilling.
It is not just a funeral dance, but okay.
Nobody knows, so it don't matter what I call it. So anyway, we just chilling. We watching the second line, a parade go by. Randomly, you pull out a gun and blow someone's brains out, and then you run. I didn't pull that gun out. I did not run either. I'm staying there like, yo, she just blew somebody's brains out. So anyway, cops come. What happened? And rather than saying, and pulled out a gun and blew someone's brains out, I'm just like, yo, someone just shot him. Who shot him? I don't know. Someone shot him. I get arrested. Since I was right there, I end up going to court. They charged me. It was like, shit, you was close enough.
Or you've also committed a crime because you knew what happened.
Right.
And you were impeding a police investigation. Yep. So you committed a crime.
Right, I did, but I didn't commit murder.
No, you didn't commit the crime of murder, but you did commit a crime.
I go before a jury because I'm like, shit, I'm still not going to say and shot him, but I'm pretty sure a jury would know that there's no murder weapon. I stood there, I didn't run, and there's all kinds of eyewitnesses.
Yeah, many people get caught up like that.
Right.
No doubt.
And they still don't say.
Because they don't say anything.
Perfect example, Shine, the rapper Shine. Mm-hmm. Remember when him and Puffy was shooting up the club? I don't know what happened there that night, but
Puffy did it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I'm sure Puffy had a lot more to do with it than was reported. Mm-hmm. Shine took the rap.
He took the rap. That's right.
He did, like 10, 12 years or something like that? I'm pretty sure Puffy took care of him and his family. Mm-hmm. I would hope. But still, Shine saying Puffy did it or Puffy played this role in doing it, he would have been snitching.
Right.
So anytime you get caught doing anything with somebody else who was not caught and you drag them into it, you're snitching. Or when you're in court, you get on the stand and you, in order to reduce your sentence. So
basically, the fact that you're being an eyewitness, you weren't involved, but you saw it.
Not necessarily, but you were there. You were there.
So you saw it.
Yeah, you saw it. You saw it.
You were there, you saw it, you weren't involved, but you saw it, and then you became an eyewitness.
Right.
And you gave testimony. That's snitching as well?
Against your boy, and you knew what was going down.
So that's snitching as well.
Yeah. So if I know that you were going to pull out that gun at that second line, and I still decided to remain there,
You're complicit.
I'm condoning this.
You're
And
complicit.
when I get up on the stand, if I point my finger at you, I'm snitching because I knew you was going to do that. I didn't even have to be there.
So what about if you don't know? Same rule applies. If you didn't know, like I said, and you saw it.
Right.
It was your person. It was somebody you knew.
Right.
You saw it go down. Like you say, you didn't run.
Right.
You didn't know that it was going to go down, but you saw it. And then you get on the stand and you tell.
It depends on the life you're living. As a civilian, me now, motherfucker.
You telling
and
everything.
Did it.
You telling everything.
I videoed it with my phone. And
so you telling. So is
right.
that snitching?
If you live a certain lifestyle, yes. Now,
if you're involved in another lifestyle, like if y'all were like gangbangers, but in this particular situation, you didn't know what was about to go down. You were with your crew.
Right. Doesn't
Didn't
matter.
know it was and you get on the stand and you tell that's snitching.
That's snitching. Because you still live that lifestyle. So you're still considered a snitch. You're considered a rat. Now, again, if you're a civilian, meaning you have no gang affiliations, you don't, you
ain't still snitching though. You saw it happen. You know the people. You might not be affiliated with them.
Not
but
if you're a civilian. If you're a civilian, I don't have any fucking loyalty to you.
But you know them.
I know you, but I don't. My loyalty is to my friends, my family, my people. I ain't loyal to these streets. I ain't in these streets. Shit.
But that's honestly, this is the law of the hood. There's a lot of people in the hood, not in the streets, but they will not. That's why a lot of murders and stuff, especially in the city of New Orleans, will not get solved because in the hood, even if you saw it, you don't say it.
That's true, but that's out of fear of retaliation. So I don't consider that snitching though. So basically, again, a civilian, meaning you have no gang ties, you're not tied to the streets, you're a law-abiding citizen. So anything goes.
So that's not snitching.
You're a law-abiding citizen.
That's not snitching. That's just being an eyewitness.
Yeah, and the same thing. Like if I'm looking outside and I see some dudes beating the hell out of somebody else, and I call the cops and say, "Yo, they're beating the shit out of this dude," and if they ask if I know who it is and it's people I've seen around the neighborhood, and I say, "Yeah, it's some dude."
So that's
Jerome.
not snitching.
No.
But so go back to
my civic duty.
So go back to my scenario when I said committed a crime and I go tell my friend and my friend in turn tells the cops.
Mm-hmm.
That's her civic duty.
She's
not a snitch.
So you go do a crime and you tell somebody else.
I commit a crime. I commit a crime with a couple of people and then I go hang out with my girl and I tell my girl, yeah, remember I said me and Ray and them, we hit up the bank and yada, yada, yada.
Is your girl an authority?
And then my girl sees something on Crime Stoppers.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, shit, that was Ann and them. Hold up, let me call this.
So is she snitching?
Is she snitching?
If she doesn't live that lifestyle? If she's not in the streets robbing banks with y'all? Nah.
She's just doing her civic duty.
She is being an upstanding citizen.
I know people who would still consider that snitching.
I know people who would too, and that's what I wanted to. That's why I wanted to talk about this.
Snitching.
I'm gonna tell you like this. Back when I grew up, because I wasn't always a civilian, I looked at talking to the police as something you don't do. You don't talk to the police, period, regardless about anything.
That is
call the
actually
police.
What we learn in the Black community.
Right.
We are bred with a distrust of police officers because historically, even if we are not involved, we're still involved. We're the first people that are targeted by the police. Like if there's a group of people doing something and there are white people and black people and the police come, the black people are the ones that are going to be confronted first.
Yeah.
So, we historically, we have, protect and serve, even though that's the credo of most police departments, it's not to protect and serve black people.
Right.
Or
but
to
I'm not
protect
saying
and
trust
serve
the cops.
brown people.
I'm not saying trust the cops, because even as a civilian, I don't trust the cops.
But you see, but we are taught not to speak to them.
Right.
And
And
you're
even
like,
more so though, growing up, I ran with the drug dealers. I ran with the neighborhood. What's the word I can use? Like I want to
pimp,
sophisticated.
pimp,
Some of the neighborhood
flesh procurers.
Nah, man, niggas be doing shit in the neighborhood. So I ran with them, and I would often be with them while they committed crimes. I would often commit crimes with them. I would often commit crimes without them. So at any point, if one of my boys were to come back to me and say, yo, we just robbed so-and-so down the street, and then I see crime watchers, some $10,000 reward. If I pick up the phone and call and say, yo,
snitching.
Jerome and them did, yes, I am snitching. That is snitching because I live that life. Now, again, if I get up, go to school, go to work, I want no parts of this street life shit. I just happen to be here. I was born here. I was raised here, and I don't even want to be in this fucking neighborhood. I don't like you niggas. I don't want to be around you niggas. But y'all niggas, somebody tells me Jerome robbed somebody and I see $10,000. I'm like, that's my ticket out this hood. I'm gonna go get me an apartment somewhere. 911, yes, sir. And then I throw on this voice. Yes, I'd like to report a crime. Yes. This fellow in the neighborhood, his name is Jerome, and I do believe he is the suspect that you guys may be looking for.
And so, is that the voice that you're gonna use so that they can find you credible?
Yep. And they're gonna be like, shit, we gotta hurry up and get there. But calling the police ain't snitching. If you see something, if you see a crime happening, like me today, I will not hesitate to call the police.
Right, you said
and I would
that,
actually rather call the police than confront some shit.
But I think in the hood, any sort of contact with the police is considered snitching, whether you are involved or not.
See,
it's
and
like,
that's
like
where they got that shit backwards.
Telling community business to someone outside of the community or to an authority figure would be considered snitching. I know. I mean,
that's the rumor I'm trying to dispel. That's not.
Oh wait, that's
snitching.
a rumor.
Yeah,
that's a rumor. Like if you
are rumor.
If you are an involved,
that's the myth.
Okay, so Mythbuster number 1. If you are an involved citizen, not living life in the hood, you are living in the hood, but not as a part of the hood life.
Right.
And you are a concerned citizen and you see something in your neighborhood that you believe that the authorities should become aware of, and you call Crime Stoppers or one of these lines and you give police a lead on certain crimes, you are not a snitch, according to Dan.
Correct. So if your next door neighbor's house is being broken into and you're at home and you're watching people crawl through the window, unlock the door, let other people in and start walking off with their belongings, if you pick up the phone and call 911 and say, yes, my next door neighbor's house is being burglarized, you are not a fucking snitch. That's not snitching. That is calling the police because you're witnessing a crime happen. Again, snitching, now this is my book. Everybody has their own definitions and whatnot.
Right.
My book is snitching is you're in a group, one of y'all get caught, and you start singing and you start naming everyone that was there.
Oh, so you start Tekashi 6ix9ine and everybody.
What part they played in it, or you take the stand, and you're trying to reduce your sentence by giving more information up. That's snitching. Everything else is just calling the cops.
Right.
Now,
in my book, all of it is snitching. But here's the thing. I mean, my A and B, your C, all of it, I would consider snitching. But snitching is not always bad, at least to me, because in your scenario where you see something, you definitely have to say something. That is being a good neighbor, that is being a good citizen, that's doing your civic duty. In a situation where, like I said, I commit a crime and then I tell somebody else who in turn informed the authorities, once again, she's a snitch, but she's doing her civic duty. Now, I myself, if I'm involved in the crime and I then turn state's evidence because I'm trying to lower a sentence, I'm a rat. Because, like Dan said, I'm in the life. So if I get caught, I get caught. Do the time. But, there is still a need for rats, because if no one is willing to actually say anything, a lot of crime and criminals would not be off of the street. So
rat has such a negative connotation. Well, let me read this real quick. Definition: snitch. Now this is from the Urban Dictionary. I love the Urban Dictionary.
Oh yeah, the Webster's of the ghetto.
In the criminal sense, a snitch will provide information to the police or feds in order to obtain lenient treatment for themselves and provide information over an extended period of time in return for money or for police to overlook their own criminal activities. Quite often, someone will become an informant following their arrest. So basically, you get snatched up off the street for selling drugs. Police like, yo, if you can give us your supplier, we'll let you go. A snitch is not the innocent person who has a serial killer living next door, so he tells the police to get the trash out of the community, basically. A snitch is one who is slanging dope or doing some other wrongdoing and gets caught, but instead of taking their punishment like a man, they tell the authorities information on other criminals so they can get off scot-free or a reduced sentence. That is a snitch, aka informant. Hashtag rat, hashtag stool pigeon, hashtag traitor, hashtag scum. Damn, they went hard on that.
You know what? No, but
and I agree with that right there.
But like I said, snitches, hashtag rats, hashtag stool pigeons, hashtag informants, they have their place, because as I said, I understand that they're saying go down with the ship. You got caught, own it, keep it moving. But I'm going to need snitches to tell so that some of this other criminal element can get off the street. Because if you running with a gang and the gang is in the hood terrorizing the hood, I'm going to need to get you out of my hood. So if you are willing to sweep the riffraff out of a community, and by what you're saying, I mean, I applaud the snitch. I'm sorry.
That's only going to bring in other stuff though. Like you snitch on some drug dealers to get them out of your neighborhood. The guys under them is going to move up and take over. There's always someone going to take over.
That's why they start from the top and they start naming everybody. Look at Tekashi. How many people? Shit, he done named who? No, it wasn't Nicki Minaj. It was Cardi B. Yeah. And who else?
Man, that
said them boys was part of the Crips.
And he said George Bush took down the towers in 9/11.
Wait, he didn't.
Yeah, he was like, Your Honor, Your Honor.
He did not say that.
George Bush.
That was a meme, fool.
No, he said George Bush took down the towers. Y'all stupid. So
stop it.
But look, see something, say something. I have no problem calling the cops, and I will say that proudly. Back then, no, I wouldn't have called the cops when I was into illegal activities. So anyway, speaking of being see something, say something, upstanding citizen, about a week or so ago, a neighbor in Fort Worth, Dallas, he saw his neighbor's house, doors were open, lights were on, and it just looked concerning to him. About
2-ish in the morning.
Right. So he dialed 911, called the
cops.
No,
he said he called the non-emergency number.
Oh, yeah, it was the non-emergency.
Yep, he called the non-emergency number.
Mm-hmm. And then the police showed up, and they were like canvassing the building, and I guess the young woman inside heard something outside. We don't know at this point. Maybe by the time this airs, more details would have come forward. But he sees a shadow at the window and yells, "Put your hands up, show me your head," and pulls the trigger and shoots through the window, killing the young lady, 28-year-old black woman who was in her own home.
In her own home, and we later learn that she was in the home playing video games with her 8-year-old nephew.
Right.
So cops see her by the window, and I just have to put it out there. What person, if they're in their home, I'm sure the cops were making noise. She heard something. What's the first thing you do if you see, because the article that I read said that the cops were canvassing around her house with flashlights.
Mm-hmm.
So you're in your house, you hear something. Why not go to your window to try to see what's going on outside your house? That's what she did.
And he shot through the window.
So once again, this is another Amber Geiger. She got Amber Geiger.
Yeah, and this is right on the heels of that verdict, which is that much more crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like
in the same area, no less.
Yeah, our officer perceived a threat.
That's what the Fort Worth Police Department is saying. If
you cannot see, because the blinds were down. I mean, we saw what they released of the body cam footage. The blinds were down. All you saw was a shadow mm-hmm. in a residential dwelling. Unless this nigga has X-ray vision. And even then.
Right. But then what gets me out of this whole thing is they released body cam footage, but this body cam footage has been edited to within an inch of its life. And what they have done is said that when they entered the home, they are showing stills of a gun that they found in the home. Now, cop is not saying, I saw the shadow of a gun.
Mm-hmm.
Cop is not saying, I saw the gun pointed at me. Cop is saying, I perceived a threat and I shot. And then they walk into the house and they find a gun. Don't know where they found it at because cops are not saying. And they're flashing pictures of the gun all over social media.
Yep. Now, what's crazy is right now, if someone were to shoot through this window or this window and they shoot me and kill me, if they come into my house, they will find multiple guns.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting here recording a fucking podcast. Mm-hmm. So, and that's the same shit they did with the Botham Jean, which is there was marijuana in that house. So
they immediately see, but that's the tactic. They immediately try to discredit you in the court of public opinion. It was like, oh yeah, she could have been a threat because it seems like she may have had a gun. But
not the court of public opinion, the court of white opinion.
Well, white public opinion.
Yeah.
Because, black people, we like, so what? She have a gun. I got a gun in my house too.
Exactly.
But you're right. So it is because the police officer was a white cop. The victim, black woman. So off the bat, we are trying to get sympathy for the cop because, reading all the stories that were put out, even the media, though, all the stories that were put out, it was, he was only on the force for a short while. So that's the setup to say, he was inexperienced and, maybe he acted, quickly, but he thought X, Y, and Z. But in this situation, you went through the academy. You are supposedly taught how to think
like a cop.
Right, quickly, but to preserve life or think safely. No. So once again, on the heels of the Botham Jean case, we have another one. And, when I saw this, I remember sending out a text message and I titled it Open Season. It's been open season on black men for a very long time. Black people in general, but police officers, law enforcement, they're going further and further. Botham John was gunned down in his own home. Miss Jefferson gunned down in her own home, doing nothing but standing.
Man, I'm trying to pull it up now. Have you heard of warrior style police training?
No.
Let me find this. Okay, so
But we were saying all of that because, we were talking about snitching and distinguishing between a snitch and a concerned citizen. Her neighbor right now, excuse me, her neighbor is being plagued with guilt. He literally is on the news saying how badly he feels and, telling her family how sorry he is because he is saying if I had never called the police officers, she would still be alive, which,
that's true.
It is true, but he was doing what he thought was right. He was concerned about his neighbor. He saw something that he thought was odd for his neighbor. So in this particular situation, snitches didn't get stitches. The snitch didn't get the stitch, even though he wasn't being a snitch by the Urban Dictionary. He called the cops, but he wasn't the one that was affected by it. It was this homeowner that was affected by his actions.
Man, all right, I found the clip here.
So basically they do what?
Well, what it is it's one dude who I don't even believe he was ever a cop or serve in any law enforcement capacity.
Okay.
He does these seminars where he's like hyper aggressive and he's like basically telling them, you guys are fucking warriors. Everyone's a fucking threat. And you know what we do? We kill bad guys. That's what we do. We kill bad guys.
So everybody is a bad guy, though.
Yes, everyone except for police. Yes. And then he gets into, he's a fucking madman. He's a lunatic. And again, I don't know this to be fact, but I believe when I saw the whole story, he never served in any law enforcement capacity.
Right.
He's just a fucking nutcase that likes guns. So all these cops go, and somehow he has this post-accredited course. This course was post-accredited, meaning if it's basically sanctioned by the police department.
So you can be paid to go and take this course.
And he's teaching them to kill people, basically. And as you heard in the clip, the dude that shot Philando Castile
had taken this course.
And numerous others. So the police chief in Minneapolis said, nah, bro, we're not doing this anymore. Not the police chief, the mayor.
Right.
We're not doing this anymore. The head of the police union and the police chief are like, well, then we're going to go on our own time.
But then they told them that they could not. Right.
And now they're fighting back. They want to go to these fucking seminars on how to be super aggressive and kill people, basically. That's right, what it is.
Because what police training shows you is how to de-escalate. And basically this guy is teaching you how to escalate.
Right, exactly.
Or like we've said you talked about in a previous show, walking down the street and everybody you see is perceived as a threat.
100%. And that's exactly how these officers today are acting and reacting.
It's how they act and react to black and brown people.
Yeah. Well, then again, when you think about it,
no, it's black and brown people.
I just want to throw this out here because we don't know yet. The guy we were just talking about in Fort Worth, all he saw was a shadow. So he don't know what color the person is.
Well, he know what neighborhood he was in.
Yeah, that I mean, it could be a black neighborhood. I don't know, but
he knew what neighborhood he was in.
I'm just saying. I had somebody ask me recently, can you believe that the police have just started, like, the past couple of years killing black people? They didn't just start. This this shit goes back
No, see,
numerous
they've
years.
just become aware. You know that. See, and that's the thing. It's we live on a spectrum, and this spectrum is extreme on either end. Either you know all about the way black people of color are treated by law enforcement, and you've heard it so much till at some point you become anesthetized.
Yeah.
Or on the other end of the spectrum, you live your life in your own bubble. You've not heard anything, but then you see these little trickles. You get these little snippets, and it's like,
He
oh
shouldn't
my
have been
God,
resisting.
what's happening? And then it's like the person who asked you that question. It's
Yeah.
like they live in a bubble because it's me and my 3 or my 4 and no more. I worry about what's going on in my little bubble of life, and I'm not worried about the outside world. When, like I always say, what happens in the microcosm affects you. Like, it starts small, but it turns into a bigger issue if allowed to fester. And that's what people don't understand. But like I said, this whole snitch situation, they are useful. That's my final answer.
If you're not a part of the life, I say, you know what? You talk to the police all you want. If you're in the life, you don't talk to the cops.
Are you
Point
serious?
blank, period. Yes.
Really?
If you are a
If
civilian,
you're a part of the life, why not talk? Because who knows better than you, the people that need to be stopped?
motherfucker, you need to be stopped.
Exactly. I got stopped.
Nah.
I'm being stopped.
Nah.
Now guess what? Everybody, I know all the people that need to be stopped.
So you're doing this to benefit yourself. You're not doing this because you want to stop anybody in the neighborhood. You're doing this to reduce your sentence.
Guess what?
You don't give a fuck about
You
what's
don't,
going
and you
on
don't.
in the
But
neighborhood.
you know what? That's life. Because guess what? We all walk. Honestly, and let's be real, we all walk through life with the mentality: how is this going to benefit me? Everything that we do, and that's basically like your hashtag. This is your tagline for life. How does it benefit me?
But I'm a civilian.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter.
No.
It
You're a
does.
person. That's global. I don't care if you're a good guy, bad guy, neutral. It's how does it benefit me? So I'm in the life. The life is benefiting me. I get caught.
Mm-hmm.
The life is still going to benefit me because guess what? Now I can take what I know about the life and I can get a reduced sentence.
And in the process, do you care about your family? Because your family will die.
Guess what? I need some witness protect. I need WITSEC, man. I need you.
And we did a whole episode, and Louisiana has $400.
Mm-hmm.
The whole state has $400 for WITSEC. So go ahead.
No,
but what I wanted to bring up too is we had on the show this like episode 22, 27, somewhere around there, when we had Marie who came on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Her son was murdered.
Mm-hmm.
And there were a few people in the neighborhood that saw her son get murdered. At first, no one came forward because, like we said in another episode, Louisiana's witness protection
sucks.
it doesn't.
It's abysmal.
We cannot protect the witnesses, so therefore you're not going to say anything. So he got killed in broad daylight, probably about 2:00 in the afternoon. Group of people around. So
everybody saw.
Eventually, one person came forward. And there was also people who were doing construction work. There were some people putting on a roof at a nearby apartment building. They saw what happened. Thing was, they were all Hispanic workers who may have been undocumented. So
Not
as
trying to get involved.
as we know, yeah, if you're an undocumented immigrant, you might as well say you living a life too. Don't talk to no police.
Right, you scattering.
So
right.
the one person that finally came forward, like almost a year later, initially she said she didn't see anything.
Mhm.
But then a year later, she turned around and said, okay, I did see it. Gave up a name too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but then I remember she went back and recanted
Again.
because of fear.
Yep.
For herself and her family.
Right. But in that situation, she would not have been snitching. She would have been doing what was right. Because you have to think
civic duty.
a lot of these young brothers that get killed in these neighborhoods, okay, let's say they are in the life and you're not. They're selling drugs. They're doing whatever, robbing houses, robbing people, whatever. That's still one. That's still a life. Two, that boy still has a mother. He still has a family that cares deeply about him, regardless of what he's doing in these streets. And we all have people like that in our families. I have people in my families that I will not let. And when I say families, I do have multiple families that I will not let into my house. I won't even pick up the phone when they call, but I still care deeply about them. So,
oh wait, you care so much that you won't pick up the phone when they call?
Absolutely not, because they trouble. Them niggas is trouble. Shit. But to have a parent have to go through that, the grieving, and knowing that at least 10 people.
But in that case, because when I made my statement, you said, "Do you care about your family?" In that case, knowing this person needs somebody to come forward. Like I said, I advocate for people who actually step forward, and they do put themselves and their families in peril.
Risk. Yeah,
they do, even if you're not a part of the life. But as I said, we need people to snitch. Number one, we also need people to do their civic duty. If they're not a snitch, but they are being a good citizen. And legally, I made mention of something. Y'all find out about being accessories after the fact. I mean, even if you're not a part of the life, people can draw you in if you help them in furtherance after the crime is committed. So that's our legal minute for this episode. You can, even though you are not involved in the crime, you can be arrested and charged as an accessory if you are presented with a set of facts and you help these people after the fact.
Now check this out. Going back to our Ask an Attorney segment, right?
What?
Ask an attorney. This is my question. I kind of already know the answer, but I want the listeners to hear this one. If you go out and you kill somebody, right? You go out, you kill somebody. You come to the house, knock on the door, and you're like, yo, what's up? What y'all doing? Mind if I hang out here for a little bit? No, whatever. And then, like 2-3 days later, police, you blasted all over the news. Police got your face like, yo, and killed somebody. If anybody knows anything, whatever. Okay, well, no, I still didn't pick up the phone to call, but I'm just like, Then the police come knock on my door. Have you seen an X, Y, and Z?
Seen no.
Nah, I ain't seen her. Now, that's accessory after the fact, right?
No, not necessarily, but it would be. I mentioned earlier about impeding police investigation. And
Okay.
if you know something, like if when I say you do something in furtherance of the crime. So say I come knocking on your door, so I kill Elton.
Mm-hmm.
And I come knocking on your door and, hey, can I hang out with y'all? And I'm sitting down, and at some point in the night, Beck goes to sleep. We up, and I go, Dan, I need to tell you. I need you to help me out. Look.
This is where you fucking up because I don't do nothing.
Well, I'm just saying, look, I'm going to leave this gun with you. The police may or may not come asking about me. You haven't seen me. Don't tell them nothing about the gun. Trust me, you have not seen me. I have not been here. Whatever. And just to let you know, I used that gun tonight to kill Elton.
See, and that's where you fucking up. By saying all that. Hey, hold this gun. You ain't see me.
Right. And guess what? And you do it.
Mm-hmm.
Now what? And the police come asking.
See, and
you say, nah, I ain't seen her.
I think that's what happened too. That exact scenario almost played out when Marie's son got killed, because I do believe he had a firearm, and one of the ladies there went to his body after he was shot, took his firearm and his cell phone, and went and hid both of them. And then the police later found it. And I want to say that's the same lady that came forward later, and her credibility at that point has just been shot to hell. So you can unknowingly be an accessory after the fact. There you have it. That's your legal ask an attorney. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, as usual, thank you for tuning in every week, as you guys always do. We really appreciate the support. If you want to show some more support, like financial support, because look, we don't even be asking y'all for money like that, man. We did this shit for like over 2 years for free. Now all we trying to do is peddle some T-shirts and
man,
make
we
like
still doing it for free. We just saying, look, if you like us, you want to support us, give us a little advertising here and there. Buy a T-shirt, buy two, buy a hoodie, buy something. Flash the brand around a little bit.
And to be transparent, we ain't even, whatever you paying for the T-shirt, we ain't getting all that shit. We getting about
the company that's making the T-shirt.
Exactly.
The most.
They get the most of it. We
Yeah.
make about $5-6 off of each T-shirt we sell. So it ain't about the money. It's about the love. That's a bar. I'm going to use that shit when I ask somebody for some money.
You know what?
Grandma, it ain't about the money. It's about the love.
You stupid.
I am Dan. You can catch me on Twitter and IG at I am Dan on Drugs. The show, keep up with us on all social media at Black Law Podcast. And those shirts we were just talking about. blacklawpodcast.com/shop.
Yep. And I'm just Dan, and you can follow me on Twitter. And in spite of the fact that Dan says that I do not answer, I do quite often. People can back me up. I do. I tweet. Thank you, especially if it's a conversation that I feel strongly about. You can also DM me at I Tell Legal Lies.
She prefers death threats in the DMs.
Whatever.
Just to let you know. Peace out.
Later.